okay, getting the fundamentals right, that's a very like it's a very diverse thing to say, but at the same time, when you see about it, a lot of people just start want to solve questions directly. But I'd say, as Arpit and I started, we also face that problem that we are not able to solve. Like, we can solve question A, but when question B comes, a similar type of questions in the exam, in the test itself, we are not able to solve it because we are not good with the fundamentals. We just solve the question itself.
Like basics are always important for any programming language, whether you take C, Java, C++, Python. The language doesn't matter. If you know the way how to code it, you can code it, but you should get the basic knowledge of every programming language.
Yeah,
If
the
you don't know
concept.
how to declare types, variables, you're not into that complete coding right now.
Then, as Arpit said, language does not matter. Like, it matters a little bit, but at the end of the day, if you're aiming just for getting into companies, then that languages doesn't matter.
Like if you are using Python for as a backend service for supporting WhatsApp, you can't make a Python to work that fast.
Yeah, like
Similarly, they have
languages,
their
and
own.
like in competitive programming, at least it does not matter. Like, that C++ will be faster, but at the same time, it's all about just getting the time complexity right, not the exact time right.
So
So
there's a difference between choosing a programming language. It's in the production stage. For competitive programming, you can do it anywhere in any language.
yeah, it does not matter. Like, if you have not chosen anything, then I would say either start with C++ or Python. It's up to you. Python, I
Yeah,
would say,
because
is
we use Python a
comparatively
lot.
easier for me because it has already built-in functionality, a lot of functionality. But at the hand, C++ has a lot of libraries and tools which are, very useful for competitive programming. So it's up to you if you have not started with anything. But if you're already comfortable with the language, you can just go ahead with it, even Java and stuff. So as we said, like competitive programming, if you want to get into companies, you need not be a 7-star on Code Chef. Just
They will
need to,
never ask if you're a 7-star coder. They won't take you even.
yeah. If like you don't need to be an expert in competitive programming. You should get your fundamentals right and should be just able to solve basic questions for every concept. That's it. That's what you want to do.
Like if you have 5 questions, you should be able to solve the basic 3 questions that are always on the topic. Nothing like circle, round. Only on the topic question that you should be able to solve that questions. I'm not saying about a hell lot of code and everything that takes a lot time or Google level questions, but you should be able to solve the basic ones.
Yeah. So again, we are trying to say the same thing in different form, but it is really
Bear
important.
with us.
Yeah, just focus on the concept. Not on the question. Let's say, so I don't know, like some of you might be familiar with things, right? So there's a knapsack problem if you have heard. So
Knapsack problem.
yeah, so it's like you have a n number of things and you need to choose a particular set of things from that n number of things so that it does not in a particular constraint of a weight. So there are like multiple ways of solving things and all those kind of things. So don't focus on the question, focus on the concept, because in the interview or in the platform where you give the exam, they won't ask you the same question. They'll ask you similar kind of question with the same concept. So focus on the concept of a particular question, not on the question itself.
Like it's not a 9th class mathematics question book. Like you will solve that question, they will just change the name of a person and you have to solve the same question. It's all about the concepts.
So as you said, like right now we're not doing CP anymore because we got placed, right? So it's just part of a tool
And I
set.
never did CP a lot. Chirag did a lot of CP, might be, but I didn't.
Yeah. So after you get placed, like there is no CP to be seen until unless like you need to give other interviews after, like for SD2 or something. But when you do your job, you don't need CP at all.
You do only need skills and the development. That's
We
it.
also don't know why do companies ask CP. Maybe we'll learn on our career itself. But right now we don't know why do they
We will
ask.
let you know if my ways allow us to come back.
But it's just part of a tool set for cracking interviews, according to my opinion. Like some people might have something else, but mostly it is for cracking interviews. Now that was about
For it.
what CP was and how you should get started. Now how to prepare for it.
Chirag, let me take a question. It's Kunal. So you're asking what ratio should we divide our time in dev and CP? How should I say? Because
Yeah,
in our
we'll
first
get to
year,
that.
Chirag used
We'll get to that. Just
Yeah,
I think
better.
we can get to that at the end of this.
Yeah.
So just get your hands dirty. So like just start with something. Start with
Not in the mud. in the keyboard.
Obviously, don't get it dirty literally, but let's get started with it. In the sense, try to just go to any platform, let's say HackerRank, HackerRank, LeetCode, any of those, pick an easy question and just do what it says. Let's say if it says print hello world, just do it. So with experience, you learn a lot of things, like how print even functions. There are so many questions based on print itself. Like you'll get like in Amazon
Input output.
in Amazon test it, they asked like they printed some weird characters and they asked the output of it, and I got it wrong because we like didn't get into the fundamentals of how print even works. So just get your hands ready, you'll learn a lot from it.
Start with the easy ones. You will feel a bit like, okay, why are we doing easy ones? We should get to the hard and the medium one. Once you will get the comfortable with the easy ones, now you will have the basic knowledge of everything. Now you can move on to the medium and the hard questions. Otherwise, the medium and hard questions you won't be able to solve them very easily.
Yeah, I think Arpit is not a very fond person of courses, but I really like a structured course which I can just follow. And if you guys are into that, then algorithmic toolbox on Coursera is a really good one that I would recommend if you guys want to start, because it covers all the concepts that you need to know. And for every concept, they'll give you almost 10 questions. Out of that, even if you solve 3 of them, you'll definitely crack any interview, I'll tell you.
Guys, I did the same course, but literally speaking, YouTube free, go it.
Yeah, YouTube works for everyone, but like this is a very structured form of course. If you are into that, like if that helps you, then this is one of the suggestions that we could give to you. Can you repeat the course?
It's already on the PPT.
It's on the screen. Algorithmic toolbox on Coursera for the second point. I think you will also get the PPT after this, so you can also take a look after also. Then keep on solving questions. So I think in Arpit, in the last 2 months, I've been doing a lot of questions on LeetCode, right?
A bit, not much, but yeah, a bit.
Yeah, and I've been doing a lot on HackerRank, and some of our friends do it on Cantilever and some other websites. So it does not matter. Just pick any platform you like, the UI, the dark theme, whatever pleases you. Just go with it and start solving problems. It does not matter which platform you take, because they'll all have similar set of questions. Every platform will have same kind of questions, but just start solving in any platform you like.
All the questions will help you out. There's no like, okay, you go on a HackerRank, that might question though won't be able to help you. That will help you. LeetCode will help you. Everything will help you out at the end.
Yeah, solving questions together. I know in COVID we are not very social these days, but it really helps. Like I think 5 or 4 of us used to sit like till like 2 or 3 in the morning for solving that code shift problems, and we only solved 1 out of the 7. But just solving that one question together with the team of like, not a team, like just friends.
I slept at that.
Yeah, we learned a lot. Trust me, like we researched a lot about different things and different kind of things, and at the end we put our code together and it worked at the end somehow. So it was really a great experience. I would say, like, if you can solve questions together. I don't know, like an online virtual thing, how things work out, but what is the path for getting qualified in ICPC? We'll get that. We'll get to that. But this one, like I was focusing on, solving interviews, like cracking interviews, but ICPC is a different level. So might not cover this. Let's see. Then trying to set a routine. So I'm not very good with routines, but Arpit, I think he can say.
Like, go and always, like, if you're trying to do GitHub, like you should maintain a GitHub profile. And if you are solving new questions every day, there should be a routine that you will sleep only after you have pushed over 1 line of code to the GitHub. Like you have to solve, like if you have the 10 questions, you will solve 2 today. You will every day you will solve 2 questions, then you will go to sleep. And if that thing if come to your habit, like how Kota Factory said, 21 days. For 21 days, go solve 2 questions every day. Then you will have the habit. You will always do the 2 questions in night.
Yeah, Arpit used to wake up at 5 and start doing questions, and he was done by 7 or 8 in the morning.
And I again back to sleep.
Yeah. So if you can set a routine, that's the best. Like even if you solve a single question or 2 questions, that's not a problem. Just try to set a routine. Even like it's the best thing if you're a fresher. Like for a fresher, it's the best thing to do. Even just solving 1 question a day or 2. So that would work. And maybe even push it on GitHub, because that question is already present on the internet. But just this will also help you work out with your someone asked like how to balance dev and CP, right? So this will help you in that, learning Git and GitHub also. So
And
you
you know,
can,
like how human mind works, it will like, oh, my 2 questions already on GitHub. Let's make it increase. And once, like after 1 month, you will be having like hundreds of questions over there, and you will be like, oh, great. I have been doing progress over the time, and you will see the green boxes and everything. That
yeah,
okay, it's super
that's a
fun.
great motivator to have a green
Yeah, it's a
box on your
motivation.
profile. So if you like comment daily, it's like we play games, right? We want the achievements, we want the objectives to be completed. So that's how I think our brain functions, right? So create objectives, set routines, and that'll help you. Now the big question: does it really
Really
matter?
matter.
Now the simple answer is yes. It matters. Competitive programming,
Wait.
CP, it matters.
And it's no.
And no, it does not matter. So what do we mean by that? Is we got to a position where we are right now because CP was a part of our plan. Like we did CP, that's why we are here. But at the same time, after getting here, there is no use of CP, to be honest. Like Arpit was I think developing website, web doing
No,
web
website,
development.
come on, bro.
Sorry,
I'm
the
a backend
website
developer.
from like second year only, right? From second
Yeah,
year,
I'm
and
in
he didn't
developing the
even touch
backend
competitive
services and the
programming.
front end
Yeah.
services from my second year. I'm not interested in. Okay, controversial question.
Yeah, that's why like yes and no, right? It's a very controversial one, but
Because we have examples. See, Chirag wasn't doing in second year. He wasn't into development. He was doing question, all type of DSA, NPTL, everything. And what I was doing, I was just making okay when NPM start like this kind of stuff. So for at the end, we both are in Goldman and VMware. So I don't think we can't answer this.
so the thing is, I think a combination of two really helps.
Yeah.
So how it helps is, so let's say, like we'll talk about our interviews in a bit. What happens is they first ask you, let's say, aptitude round, then they'll ask you to coding round, then they'll go for interview, right? So in aptitude and coding, CP will definitely help. But when you get into the interviews, the difference like that you'll get selected over the other person is that you've already done some software development.
Like
So I
yeah,
think
I will explain that thing in the interview
yeah, we'll
section.
talk about it in the interview section we have planned in
So
the next.
that's the point. We have to maintain a balance between a Thanos balance between competitive coding and development.
So yeah, it matters. So just do it. Like don't think too much about it, what it makes sense or not in the bigger picture, but just start with it and keep on doing it. Okay, though. So this was about competitive programming, what you should do. This was an overview. This was not very in depth, but I think that got because you are
We will
freshers.
come on that, Devangi. We will come on that
Okay, what is the
later
question?
on. Jungle
Okay,
is maintaining a healthy balance between managing grades, competitive development, and other stuff.
we'll get to that.
Managing grades, don't ask me. Managing grades, I'm not that good in grades.
Okay, still you have 9.5, I think CGP, right?
6.
9.6.
It's very easy to get CGPAs in SRM. 9.6 is a very low CGPA. 9.9, ask about these people.
Yeah, open source really helps. We'll come to that. So hackathons,
We should have open discussion only because I think we are going good.
will come. That's why I'm just rushing through this.
Yeah.
Like I'm just covering all the points. We can come to the open discussion just in I think 10 minutes. Yeah. So for hackathons, the best answer that we can give is just go for one,
It
because
doesn't matter if you're getting a 5,000 price money or if you're getting a 5 lakh price money. Just go for one.
yeah. So I think the curiosity that you guys have, what is a hackathon? How do people make things in 24 hours, 36 hours, those kind of things? We also had that same kind of thing. We used to ask every person that has been to hackathon, our seniors, even like these kind of meetings we went to, like how hackathons work and what should we do. But it was only clarified when we went to one. So just go and experience it. You'll learn what hackathon is and how you can develop softwares in 24 hours.
See,
So
literally, I know persons who have been went through 5 or 10 hackathons, and one the last hackathon, like the recent hackathon there. And I know me and Chirag who went for the first hackathon when we won that. So it doesn't matter if you won in the first, in the middle, or in the end of the hackathon that you are doing. Just go and you will learn the experience, and you will love it. Everything.
yeah. So I think the most important part, like we thought, was to learn things, know stuff, and all those kind of things. But that's definitely not really important. The important part in a hackathon is to focus on your team and team coordination. What I mean by that is, don't take your friends. I'll say Like that's my opinion. Don't take your
Don't take
friends
friends.
with in
Until
hackathon.
friends are like us, don't take.
Don't take your friends. Take those people, those you think are really good with things, or a diverse group of people. Let's say one could do web development, one could do AI/ML, one could do cloud computing, one could deploy things, something like that. Get a good combination of people who can do various things and take them.
When we were doing the Smart India Hackathon, I never know what Chirag was doing. He never knew what I was doing.
Yeah,
But at the end, both of our work got combined, and it was the most beautiful time of life. Like when we both able to see, okay, both of our work have been working super.
yeah. Like it was, I think 30 hours or 24 hours.
36, I can
Yeah,
say,
36
at the
hours.
end.
I think for 30 hours of it, I didn't know what he was even trying to do or what he was working on. And he had no idea what I was working on. But like a team leader who was a senior had, like, he was not like doing the code itself, but he was just trying to coordinate the team itself. And at the end, two of our team members just, compiled or combined our code together. And at the end, it was working and it was really beautiful. So take a team who has a good coordination. Like, choose one team leader. Anyone can be a team leader, and give the responsibility to that guy, so that that person works on combining and coordinating the team itself. So as he said, don't focus on winning. You can't please everyone, that because just try to make intelligent solutions is what I mean. Because judges might want something else, like they have different marketing things, those kind of things also. So they want to focus on something else, but just don't focus on winning. Try to make intelligent solutions is what I'll say. Yeah, like that is the point we covered, right?
Yeah.
Now about Smart in the Hackathon, if you
Hackathon.
guys are planning to go, so this is the information like from the hackathon that we went to. So it was six people are supposed to go in there. One compulsory should be a girl.
Like
Then
minimum one girl is
yeah,
important.
I don't know like if they changed it or something
No,
happened.
no, they didn't. So
Okay.
like it's not like you have to take the minimum and the maximum count is six. You have to take six people. You can't go with five, four, three, or like you have to
Hmm.
take six people with them. Once the team has been shortlisted among us, the Smart India Hackathon people releases the list of problem statement from the different company. Companies include Amazon, Microsoft, VMware, and like every big shot is there, Apollo Health, and everyone. So how the procedure works is you have to go for the internal hackathon first of all. It's in between the college, and you have to go with the same problem statement. Once you've been the top five teams of your college, then you have to go for the pitch round where you submit your final PPT to the Smart India Hackathon people. Where this PPT go to the company initialize them and checks it. And if you are being shortlisted for the finals, you have to go to the particular place where the finals have been around, and you compete with six other teams. And it's like 36 hour non-stop hackathon without any sleep. And yeah, that's it. In the final, if you won, you are the winner. There is no runner-up, no second, third. In Smart India Hackathon, they're only winner, and others are the losers. Don't take that as a loser, but yeah, all other are the losers.
Yeah. So like I think ideally just go for a hackathon, a simple like inter college, something like that. After that you can go for SAH when you're confident enough to go. So yeah, you can do that.
I don't know how we won this
And
internals in
the
the
best
finals
thing
one.
is the best thing about SAH is that it gives you a lot of exposure to people who are in the industry, like top shots like CTOs, CEOs, those kind of people in the government also, like some of them. Then in college itself we get to meet the vice president, the HODs, and those kind of people. They respect us a lot now.
Now they
So
respect, yeah.
yeah,
If we miss the classes, they don't even care now. Yeah,
yeah, we
we didn't miss
don't
the classes.
like the money was not even like the part, but that we were excited about. It was all about the respect and the
What was
exposure
your
that we got.
project? It was the health reports digitization using OCR.
Yeah, digitization of health reports, like,
Yeah.
and prescriptions also. So for example, you get COVID test, you get a health report, so we digitize that health report, something like that.
Yeah. And in the finals, what happens is like you have different companies. You will be seeing the Amazon VP, presidents, and all other like roaming around. You can just go talk and you can
Talk
make
to
the
them.
thousands of connections over
So
there. That's
yeah,
the
like
best part.
exposure is the best part of SIH, I would say. So even if you think you cannot like win or something like that, just go for it. At least you get the exposure.
And
Like
the people who didn't win the Smart India Hackathon, but they made such a great connections with the CTOs and the CEOs. They got internship offers from them, and now they have been working full time.
Tell me about
Yeah, I will tell you about
internship.
internships. Wait
Okay,
here.
we'll come to it. So yeah, Arpit, you can start with your journey. Like what?
So, what's the procedure for the which interview we are talking about? I don't know. So, what happened in mine into I was already placed as a off campus because of Smart India Hackathon in Bajaj Finserv Health. You're not audible, Pradeep. So, okay, so I was already placed as a off campus due to Smart India Hackathon. So there was no coding interview, there was nothing. But I still thought I will go to the campus placements. So as you know, I didn't do that much of competitive programming. I don't have that much of skills in CP. I was already a developer and development, nothing else. So I got shortlisted for the interviews, like for the coding round. I don't even many times I don't even get to know okay how these questions are going to be solved and how I have to solve them out. Because of that, many times I got failed in the technical rounds and other things. But later on, I started doing something, and at the end, in the VMware, I was in the VMware. So I went through two technical rounds, coding question, manager round, HR. So yeah, CP always helps you, and it depends on how much you take the advantage of the computer programming you have. And
So like for me, it was totally different. I think the first company that came to our college in third year, I got placed in that only. Like the first company which came, I got placed. So like I've been doing, I think my competitive like this kind of competitive programming from class 11th itself. Like what Arpit was doing in I think second year, a lot of people are doing in second year. I tried like I finished in 12th because of my like great teacher that I had in 12th. So for like they were into development. Like they were just I was also into like development, but more was into competitive programming. Did you follow any course? So in course like in my school, so the CSC that we have right as an option, like people take physical and those kind of things. I took CS. So I think they teach you a lot of it. Like the question paper was I think more difficult than my second year paper. I did me not really.
yeah, I didn't follow that much courses or anything. I just saw YouTube and started coding.
Yeah, and courses. I told you the algorithmic toolbox on Coursera. I did that particularly, but other than that, I solved question on Hacker and Lead Code, Hacker, or those kind of things.
So if you see the who when go through courses are from bottom to top approach. So Chirag follow bottom to top approach, and for me, I don't follow the courses. I follow top to bottom approach. So there's a two type of approaches. YouTube
YouTube
channels
just
I will share.
yeah, we'll talk about it. Mandatory. So okay, so I got placed in the starting only. Then I can tell I have a lot of experience because I've given so many interviews and like problems. So what I'll tell you, like what generally happens is, so usually it's distributed like first in almost all the companies. First you'll have an aptitude round. Now, aptitude round is a very basic, simple thing. Like they'll ask you maths, simple maths, then they'll ask you a little bit of English, something like they'll tell you to from a paragraph, like solve questions from a paragraph, something like that. That will be the first round. That's the easiest to clear. Then the most difficult I would say is the coding round, the competitive coding where it helps, right? So usually
And
what
that only matters.
yeah, that one, for that only you are preparing, because in interviews your projects and your resume will help, but in the coding round itself your competitive coding will be really helpful. So in that uh, what they ask is usually around 20-30 questions on fundamentals of computer science, something like what is oops and what is networking and those kind of things. It depends on the company how difficult they'll be, and one or two coding questions, or maybe three four. It depends like what is the level of coding question they're giving you. So for that coding question, those are the questions that you see on lead code on medium level, something like that. So those questions are generally asked in the second round, coding round. And after that in interviews, it depends on your profile completely. So let's say if you are in if you didn't do any like development, software development, they'll start asking competitive like questions on CP, and they'll ask you difficult questions. But if you have a great resume where you already mentioned a lot of projects and you have
So
done a lot of
for like me,
or
when
those
I
kind of,
went for my technical round, it was like 25 minutes direct talk on what the projects I have been doing.
yeah, like I have even have an hour talk just on my single project. One project they had an talk on about it for an hour. So it all depends on your resume. And at the end, HR round is just it's a time pass, nothing more. Yeah. So yeah, that was like our experience. I think you can now share, like we can solve all the questions. Kol ke पूछो यार.
पूछ लो यार, like now first of all, turn on your videos.
Yeah, you can
on mute,
turn on
and
your
then we
videos.
will talk. This is not a class that we are taking.
Yeah, you can turn on
YouTube channels, I will share the YouTube channels like
हाँ भेजिए
We'll yeah, so we'll send all the links, all the things that they talk about in a summary form after the session through your emails.
Yeah, you all can turn on your videos and maybe ask us questions. We'll try to
now. Let's
answer.
have the khul ke conversations.
Okay, maybe
Now
we
let's
can
talk.
take some questions from the chat
Yeah, please,
itself.
please.
Yeah. So will you teach us how to code later?
If my
So
ways allow, yes.
sure. So if Arpit and Chirag want to take live sessions, maybe we can arrange that. But yes, my ways, you can reach out to us. We are helping students learn to code for free. You can visit our website there. So like Arpit mentioned that he has learned from YouTube. So we got a lot of mentors who are very keen to learn from YouTube and encourage that a lot. So at my ways, we are curating the best playlists for free on the channel. It's on our platform itself. So it is YouTube content, but structured and more personalized for you. So you can check that out definitely. And of course, Coursera and all these websites are also great. So at the end of the day, it's about learning and implementing what you learn more than from where you are learning from. Right. So what ratio should we divide our time between development and competitive programming?
It depends on person.
I think you'll do
For me,
50-50 is the best. I would
I
say.
will do 80-20.
Like I think initially in your first second years you could give development a little bit more time. 70-80% of your time you could dedicate to development because that time you have a lot. You're growing, right? And in your third year, if in your third year, I would say give more time to CP, like 60-70% of your time to competitive programming and 30% of time to development.
For
So I would
second year,
divide
third year,
it like that.
80 give 80 to 20, and in fourth year for me, like people like me, 70-30. Don't do that much CP. Your skills will get you a job.
Yeah, initially do development, like just before interviews, do more competitive programming. That's I would say.
So competitive programming is not only for interviews. Maybe I believe so. Just to ask both of you a question, where does your passion come from for coding? Because I have seen both of you. So there are a lot of technical students, technical people, but I see both of you as very passionate for what you are doing. So where does that come from?
We love what we do.
We love when our things work. Like we try to create
Definitely.
Okay.
solutions, and when it works, we are just really happy about it.
When your
Okay.
APIs
So
are working, they are super secure than any
right.
other company, then okay, they are working fine.
Okay, so some people like to watch movies, and you people are happy when your things start working.
If our things are working, then we are good.
Okay, awesome. So I was in the maybe misconception or conception that I thought that competitive programming helps get you into that practice and pushes you to actually get into it deeper, maybe. So something that is what I thought.
Yes,
Great.
where are you? Yes. Can you unmute yourself? Because you've been asking a lot of
Hackathons, do we
questions, so
think
you
of
can
a
directly
unique
call.
idea or just we have to code about the topic? So there are different types of hackathons. Some hackathons give you a problem statement. In some, there's an idea, and from that idea, you have to create a solution for your own problem. Something
See,
like that.
like hackathons like Smart India Hackathons, they give the problem statement by their own, and you have to code that problem statement. Like you have to solve the problem statement. And for some other hackathons, they will give you the topic about solving the garbage management or something like that. So you have to create your own problem statement and you have to fix that.
Hmm.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the difference between development and competitive programming?
Day night.
Software development is more like creating software, right? You create software and that's actually being used in the somewhere, right?
See, what you're
Competitive
using right now,
programming is
it's a
more like,
software
yeah, like
developed.
it's more like you need to, yeah, it's one person said like building your logic, right? How things actually work. But at the same time, it's like optimizing your code. But when you actually, work in like you develop software, you're not like talking about if you want to make your time complexity from n cube to n square or something like that. It's more like, it's really practical in real life kind of things. So they're very different, but at the same time, one is incomplete without the
Okay,
other.
I
Like
will
you
give you
need
a
to do a
better.
little bit of
I will give you a
complex.
better example. In books, we have to say if we are doing any search query in the large database, it should be ON so that it will be super fast. When you are using in the software development, we can't go for ON because we need to use Elasticsearch services. We have to use the databases.
Okay.
We have to search. It's not relevant because we have been searching millions of millions database with one query using Elasticsearch. So there is a, we can't say the computer coding is like it used, but it's not. So what's the difference in technical interviews of service-based company or product-based company?
I think
Chirag,
there's no
service-based.
difference. I've given both of them. There was no difference.
For VMware, it's like we use C++, Java, Golang.
Yeah,
How do you do that?
they'll ask you questions on your logics. Like for example, they'll ask you questions. If there is this problem, there's this bottleneck. How will you tackle this? Or they'll ask you, we want to do this testing, and your team is not coordinating. What you'll do about it? Something these kind of questions, both in survey based and product based.
Vishal, what do you want to know about internship? What's
Tell me
procedure
about
like?
internship. What's procedure?
So Ankit is asking that there are many platforms, but which one is the best for beginners to practice CP?
CP. I think for beginners, I think like for me it was HackerRank because it
HackerRank.
has the easiest questions and like it's beginner friendly. It's not overwhelming in the starting. And for third,
Okay.
fourth years, I would recommend LeetCode. Yeah.
Okay, great. So Shreya is asking how to prepare for a short duration for interviews such as Google Step internship. Would you be able to answer that?
In short time, usually we don't like. I have prepared for like over years only. Like in like a few
Okay.
weeks or something like that. There's no preparation that you can do.
Like,
But
if you're using development now, you might have got a huge knowledge about how the language works. If you're doing the development, then I think CP will be a bit easier than others.
and I think at the end, like just before the tests and interviews, what we do is just on GFG or Glassdoor, we go, what are the questions asked in the previous year? And at least know those questions by heart, understand those questions by the answers for that question by heart, so that if those kind of questions are asked again, you'll be in luck. So you can do that.
CodeChef, yeah, CodeChef is right, fine, no problem. Using
Yeah,
CodeChef.
CodeChef is great. CodeChef, if you are able to do CodeChef, that's the best. But like it's a little bit overwhelming, so I thought not for everyone.
Okay, great. So again, I'm coming back to the Divangi question Arpit said we'll address later. So how do you suggest one juggles and maintains a healthy
She
balance?
also,
Yeah.
wait, guys, she also got placed in VMware. She's
Yeah,
our friend only, so she's also got placed in VMware only.
Devang.
Okay.
Yeah, she's also.
Okay, so you know her. Okay. Okay, awesome. But you still maybe for other people, what do you think has been both of your processes and how have you managed college and coding and all of that?
Okay, so for people like I'm talking about me. I'm not talking about Chirag. Do development in the night, do some CP, go to class, sleep. That's it. And just study
Okay.
before 1 day before your exam.
For
You will.
managing grades, I think for me it was to just study in the class itself. So later on you don't need to study.
Could you suggest the resources followed for learning full stack? So, bro, full stack is not. You can go for the React for the front end, Node.js, or Java for the backend services, and MongoDB
There's
or
that
my.
course now from in YouTube. What was the name?
Okay, you can follow Net Ninja, the Net Ninja,
Yeah, Net Ninja. There's a guy called Net Ninja. Like he has a curated course on
for full stack development. You can
full
go,
stack
you can
development.
see all its videos. He's super intelligent guy, so you
Yeah.
can learn the development from there.
Awesome. So Aditya is asking that some say that you should contribute in open source projects. What all is needed to do that, and how should we proceed with it if we want to do that?
Open
Chirag.
source. Okay, so yeah, I am a lot into open source. I was almost like this close getting to GSOC, but like I messed up with the mentor. Like I was talking to some other guy, and I should have been talking to a different one. But so open source, like it's very overwhelming in the starting. Like you don't know where to contribute, what to do, you cannot understand the code base itself, right? So for that, I would say go to GSOC website, take a look at the previous projects that they have listed on their website, and you can filter out on a lot of conditions there and try to find a project. Then in that project, go to the Git page or whatever the pages that they have, talk to the community that how to get started, and go into the GitHub, see like in the issues panel and filter out according to new issues or for beginner friendly issues. So from there, keep on asking questions, keep on bugging them every day, keep on writing emails or keep on writing on Slack or everything, everything, and they'll help you how to get started, how to understand the code base. So for a month, it will just take you to how the code base works itself. After you're comfortable with the code base, you can start contributing small things, minor changes, even documentation changes in any project that you like. So that is how I would proceed for that.
Okay, so Mayank is asking. that he's already been, Manas is asking that he's already been placed as a tech analyst. So should he continue coding or should he try something else? So
So
maybe
I guess then
diversify.
if he's continuing as a tech analyst or he's looking for another job, it depends on that, right? If I think he's a tech analyst, like I think he should focus on development if he's continuing with the job. But if he's hunting for another job, then definitely CP is the way.
Okay. Divyanshu, you can unmute and ask that question. I see that you've
Yeah,
raised your
please.
hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Tanvi. Hello, Arpit. Hello, Chirag.
Hi.
Hi,
Hi.
Divanshu.
Guys, I have a question. I am a first year student from Mathura, and I'm doing my BTech AIML.
So
Guys,
you are
my
the
question
God's
is, what
coming.
problems you guys faced when you was doing when you gone for the hackathon?
The problem is in hackathon.
Sleep,
Okay.
the sleep. Seriously, you don't get a minute of sleep. You don't get a minute of sleep.
The problem was to finding a good team, and that was the like I think problem that every one of us face, right? So don't focus on taking friends to hackathon. We just went like we joined DSC, that developer student club community, Mozilla community on campus,
From
and in
Google.
that community we found people who were interested in going to hackathon, and I had a different kind of exposure to technology. So we
See, Divanshu, what
then
happens many times is like we were developing. So CTO of the same company, which was our problem statement. So he was Anurag Vora. He was the CTO of Bajaj Finserv, problem statement of that company. He came. He told me I was the responsible for the full front end and the part of a backend team. I don't because I was the only front end developer, full stack developer, so I had to do the full front end and a small part of backend. So that guy came and told me this thing won't work, change it. So it was like my 3 or 4 hours of mehnat. He told me delete this thing. It's shit. You can't go ahead with
I
this.
think that was like when we already had like 20 hours of our hackathon was completed.
Not 20 hours. Yeah, come
And
on,
it was
15
20.
hours.
It was 36 hours. Na? It was at the night 12 a.m. or something.
Yeah. So today he came at 12. Before going to sleep,
Huh.
he told me delete it. It's shit. You can't go ahead with it. And he went to sleep. I was like, come on, man. So I had to, and in anger, I deleted the whole project without even thinking what the APIs are and what we were calling. And I started at 2 in the night, and at the 5, we had the best, what we say, the front end that every
We are the
team had.
best we could provide
We the
them.
best we could provide. So
Yeah.
these are the problems that will come in the hackathon. Judges will come, mentors will come. They will say, "This is shit. This is bad. Change it and replace it." Some might be super savage. They will say you on your face, "This is don't working. You should leave the hackathon." And someone will be super provide. They will say, "If you can change it, please change it." But everyone needs it. Change it. It's not working.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you,
Yeah, next
Divyanshu.
question.
Yeah. So how can we build a strong foundation and fundamental in DSA?
DSA.
DSA. Okay.
You know
I
all
think
the
you
codes
can.
of the DSA. Do it.
Yeah, the
Operating
code.
systems. Do it. And DBMS. Do it.
No,
And computer
DSA. I
network.
think
Do it.
online that course I told, right? That algorithmic toolbox. You can try that maybe.
And
That will.
focus on database, operating systems, and computer networks also, because these questions will come.
Mm-hmm.
OS and DBMS, I'm guaranteeing that will come in any
OS and
company.
DBMS will 100%
Any
they'll ask you
company.
in an interview.
Right. So one of our mentors last month took a workshop on DSA and 12-step process she used. She's now with Microsoft. We can send that link across. You can find it on the website. The resource kit is live. Yeah. So she
Okay.
made a 12-step process for DSA. I think that would be helpful, apart from obviously the recommendations by both of
Definitely.
them.
It's on how to improve communication skills. Just communicate. Go talk.
Idea.
Talk it. Just talk. Without even thinking what you are talking, just talk.
Right. I think the getting over the fear of judgment is the first step to open up. So
Mm.
once you're over that, then you can just try and fail and then get outside and show yourself more.
Need to be maths just be like basic maths. You don't need to be good like for basic maths you just need to be good. For like you don't need advanced mathematics for CP. Like I think be just good, be good with probability. I guess that's the only thing that you'll face. Other than that, simple linear algebra and those kind of things, that's it. Nothing like calculus and those kind of things you won't need.
So Drishti is asking that she's a fresher from Dhanbad this year with core non-circuitable subject. So that means maybe non-IT subject. I have only basic computer knowledge. How should I start coding from scratch?
From
Hmm.
scratch. Okay. Uh, there was this resource I had. I think you can start with Python 101. There's just search Python 101 online. You find like first or second link. I don't remember the name exactly. So it's like there's a simple like 1 week course where they'll just keep on giving you simple problems like how to print, what is a class, what is a print function, what is like what is a variable, those kind of things. I think you can start from there. After that, you'll catch on it.
Give some tips for applying to Mitacs. We both went to Mitacs actually, so you can ask any of us. So in Mitacs,
So what is Mitacs?
Mitacs,
Mitacs?
Mitacs is it's a non-profitable organization that is like working with closely with AICT, our government of India,
Okay.
and they provide internships in University of Research internships in the University of Canada. Like many
Okay,
universities
okay.
are there in Montreal, Toronto, Sherbrooke.
Mhm.
So these are the many universities that they apply. So for applying, you should be good with your resume. You should be like, I don't know how much talk to double matter because I talked a lot over there. And third thing, you should have a proper, that we say, what was that I should
LOR.
give? LOR, yeah, LOR.
LOR, I think good resume with good LOR. LOR, like it should be comprehensive of what very subjective to you. It should not be very generic LOR. Like for example, if you're good with, let's say, neural engine in this particular field, so be very specific about it. Don't be very generic in your LOR. So I think that would really help applying those kind of positions.
Right. Abhi is asking that he's very much into development but hasn't started with CP yet. So will it be easier for him to catch up now that he's good with development for CP?
Yeah, it will be definitely easier for a person who is already into development to get started.
Because you have solved many problems before in development.
Hmm.
So your
And I
mindset
think
will
that
work like
person
that.
would be good with the knowledge that they are using, right? So the language barrier won't be there. It would be just like
But
conceptual.
what happens is like, so if you're into development, suppose you're into backend or front end, so you will be having the API calls and all of the stuff. So there might be questions that comes in the interview like how you will fix the latency, how you will figure out number of API calls to be reduced, and like lot of stuff. So in that kind of stuff, we need threads and all kinds of algorithms. So I think you should know the proper knowledge on the algorithms and how they work so that you can involve them into your development. Because many times interview will ask and you will face the problems where you will think, okay, how to solve it, because I have built it, but you are getting 100 API calls, you can't fix it. How to be faster? For that, algorithms are important. They will help you becoming faster.
To make it
Right.
awesome.
Okay, so
Yeah,
Shweta,
Tanvi, go
I think that's yeah. So Shweta is asking if how do you differentiate between software engineer profiles and software development engineer profiles? Or is there a difference? I think
Speak again. Speak again.
so. Software engineer versus software development, SDE versus software engineers. I think there's a company difference, or is it there a role difference also?
Software developer or
Like
software engineer kind
I
of
am a
thing.
SDA at Goldman, but they say that I am an analyst there.
And I am a SD at VMware, but they say I'm a MTS, member of technical staff.
Just look at the responsibility in the page, like they give you, right, what are the responsibilities that you'll be taking, so you can judge according to that, I guess.
Okay, awesome. Do you guys have any prior research experience that is directed specifically to Chirag?
Yeah, for me, I had an experience with NUS. Like I had a research internship in my end of first year.
First year.
Yeah, National Institute of Singapore. I went through that program called Corporate Gurukul. You can search online. So there's a
Yeah,
program.
I came to every college and like stuff.
Yeah, a lot of colleges will
That's
have it.
pretty easy to apply.
Yeah,
Compared
it's
to
easy
Mitacs.
to apply. It's easy to get in, but the kind of like after you get in, it's a pretty like they're really good professors that will teach you a lot of things. So you need to be on your top of your game when you go there. But it's easy to get in.
But in Mitacs, it's hard to get in. But over there, once you get it, you have to do everything from your own. They won't help you. They won't teach you.
Yeah.
Okay, so Aditya is asking how to make an awesome resume.
I will share the YouTube link. Wait.
I think projects are there's also YouTube link, but that is for when you already have a lot of things. So I think creating projects and winning hackathons will definitely push your resume being
So I believe so. We work with employers, so I believe as long as you can show that you're really interested in what you're doing and you know what you're doing.
In resume, include your experience, where you've been currently working and where did you work in the past, and the projects. And the hackathons, if you have one, like achievements, whatever achievements you have, there should have one column of achievements. You should have the one column of experience and one column of projects. And it should not like explaining the projects in 5 lines, 1 or 2 maximum lines,
Hmm.
that you should explain, okay, how you worked in that project and how you helped the team and the company achieving
You
it.
can Google keywords used in resume, so use those keywords also.
Like
That
many
will
people
help.
use, I made it, I built it, and the better word is how we engineered it.
Okay, there's a workshop also for that. You can.
Okay, my way is
So
everything.
so 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 I am dropping in two ebooks. One is for DSA and one is for builders. So you can
Okay.
go through the content. So this is an ebook we made for people to help them with resumes and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. Right. So any other questions? I think we've taken up everything from the chat. Any other questions that people have? Anything they would want to know more?
You guys can unmute
Chirag
and
and
come on the
Arpit.
video if you want. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
come on,
yeah.
yeah. This is not a
Please.
class. I'm feeling bored right now. So if you can come and let's have a chit chat, yeah. This is not a class. Don't worry, my way will send stickers and something if you speak.
We will send some gifts, huh? Just for
Yeah.
speaking.
My way will some gifts and everything if you ask a genuine doubt. And everything, everyone is a genuine doubt, so no problem.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Like some person had a question, right? How to build
We'll
communication
connect
skills.
with
This
you
is how you
if we
build.
have
Like
any queries in
talk.
future. Yeah, LinkedIn. Come on,
Yeah.
man. You
So maybe
are an
somebody
engineer. LinkedIn to talk.
Yeah, definitely we can
you
connect.
can connect with them on LinkedIn. Yes. Yes. Please provide us your feedback also. I think the team has sent in a feedback form. Other than that, so definitely I think Chirag and Harpit have been very sporty always about doing this mentorship sessions with us. So they will be very happy to answer any questions that people have. Since we have them today, we have got their time, we have booked their calendar. So any questions you want
I
to
don't worry.
ask
We were
them
free only.
about.
We were getting bored in our houses, so it was better to go and chit chat.
Right. So, any questions you have for them about their college, about how they are looking forward, maybe what are they expecting
Resources
out of?
for clearing aptitude test. See, aptitude test is like uh,
For us, like we didn't do anything for it.
it's
Just
like see, what matters is coding round. If you fail in aptitude, like not to fail in aptitude,
maybe
obviously get
solve GRE questions. Maybe that will help.
don't solve GRE question. They are like no. Like suppose if you have 10 questions in
Important.
aptitude, solve. If you get 3 correct and you got the 2 coding round correct, they will select you. They don't matter the aptitude that much. But yeah, it's not like you get -1 or something in aptitude. They won't.
But I think Vishal, you could definitely check on basic Google and see basic aptitude questions, or maybe take up questions of exams which are completely based on aptitude. So maybe that would help, right? Right. Pratiksha,
Like
you can maybe unmute and ask your question.
Yes, hello guys, can you hear me?
yeah.
Hi,
So
Pratiksha.
question is the same as it has been asked before, that I am actually a first year student and I'm a complete beginner. And I mean complete beginner. So like how do I start? Which language should I start with, and what book or course should I refer to?
First of all, don't read books for competitive
Like
coding or something. Books are useless. And second thing is,
I
so I
think
would say C++.
start with the 1 week course of Python or C++, so that you get to know what is variable, what is a function, what
What
is
is
a class,
print, input, output,
yeah, how to take
everything.
input, how to take out, like how to give output. Start with that. Do that for 1 week. After that, you can get into basic concepts of DSA.
Where is this, like, where do I register for this 1 week course? Like, can you refer
Just
something?
I don't know if my ways have something for it, or I just for me I used to just Google Python 101 and I got, like, you can see a lot of courses out there. Whichever suits you, you can start with that.
Like we do, you can go to our website, go to curated learning, and you can definitely find some free content there. But what I do believe is that don't think too much, just get into it. So I'll bring back their advice itself: get your hands dirty. Don't think too much. How do I start? How do I stop? Where do I go? Just start, you'll find your way, right? It's all about getting information and implementing and learnings. All three have to go simultaneously, so that's how you grow. It can't be today for 1 month you're just learning without getting exposure. Maybe you're learning wrong. So just try and expose yourself constantly, and don't think too much of whether it is right, it is wrong. Something or the other will always help you, as long as you're learning something out of it, right? So just get your hands dirty.
Prashant has asked, how are, see, if you are the fresher, focus on your studies with ECE and start doing the code and everything. It won't be tough for you.
I don't think these days people really look at degrees when hiring for coding roles.
No.
Definitely not.
It doesn't matter like which branch are you from. It
If you
matters
can
your
code with these
skills and
10
yeah.
fingers, you can do anything. Yeah,
Right.
Divyanshu, speak.
I think
So last month we were joined by a developer who is from BCom honors. So if people don't really see, I think, degrees anymore. Right.
yeah, they
Yes.
don't.
Yeah, Divyanshu, ask please.
Yeah, guys, actually, I want to know, like, I'm also trying to code a lot in Python, especially. And like sometimes it happens with me when I go to CodeChef or go to HackerRank and to the hard or expert questions. So the problem I faces is about the logic building.
Hmm.
Sometimes it happens like the question is clear, but I'm not getting the point how to approach that particular problem. Can you guys can help me with that?
Like I also had same kind of problem, right? Because we can understand the question, but how to solve it. So there are different types of ways to solve questions, right? So for that, I suggested that course again, like algorithmic toolbox on Coursera, right? So just like I think it is like 2-3 months course, but just do the first week of it. That will give you a perspective of how things work, and then from that you can pick up how to get to understand like the concepts of that. So just do the first week or 2 weeks of it. You'll get to know like the concepts behind these questions. That will help you.
Okay, thank you.
Pratisha, do you have a follow-up question?
No, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So
Just a second, Kunal, Bhaiya, did you
if
in
now
your
you were in
second year?
second year, then how will you plan? Okay. So if you are sent back to your second year, how will you plan your next 2 to
What
3
to eat in
years?
dinner?
Do you
And
follow
who will think about next 2-3 years? You are not in like the what is a company right now. Think about what you want to have for the dinner.
next 2-3 years of your college? Okay. We were not in
So
college in second. We were sitting home at home only, I guess.
no. So if you're sent back to your second year, how would you plan your remaining 2 years?
Uh,
It's very hard. Like,
Now
we
that you're
didn't
already
plan.
placed, now that you've got your college has ended, you have been placed. Now
But we
if you
didn't
get the
plan like,
chance,
okay, companies will come. I will apply to this
no.
company. I will
So
apply
just
to this
general.
company.
Okay. Maybe something that you missed out on, or something you would have
Yeah, we
planned
planned
better.
like me and Chirag were like, okay, we have done with this kind of stuff. Now let's try something new because Chirag was from ML part and he was doing one day he was doing CNN, then something real. I don't even know the keywords like what Chirag was doing. So every week he was been changing tech and
yeah.
like whatever he
Yeah,
was
so
trying
I
something.
started with app development, did thoda sa web
Android
development,
Studio.
did a lot. I started a little bit of cloud computing, but at the end settled for data science, AI, and ML. So I think in second year I would say I'll suggest myself to try different things and try to build variety of projects instead of focusing on a single thing. So I would say that do that maybe.
People often have questions between whether should I go for a data science ML AI path or a full stack development path. So any tips on that? Maybe because since both of you are completely from I think different
Yeah.
preferences. You both can do both, but preferences are different. I
No,
think.
I can't do. I can't do.
Acha,
No, no.
okay, okay. Yes. Anything on that?
So you can do any of it. It depends on what you're passionate about. So I started with app development and web development, but I was not feeling it, right? So I didn't feel like I was happy about doing this. But when I went to doing deep learning and machine learning, that time I felt like I felt satisfied by doing it. So I think it was all about like personally how passionate about what you're doing. So otherwise, in generally, like in my like getting a job or doing interviews, those kind of it does not really matter. Like if you are from different, doing something else or something else. Yeah.
Okay, great. Kunal, career-wise roadmaps, maybe again you can visit our website, but definitely it is important to get yourself exposed to a lot of things before actually deciding on a career path, right? Maybe you can build projects differently. You can look at tutorials. You can go to YouTube. You can research. You can meet people, and definitely that would help you decide your next steps.
Chirag, what
Uh,
was your motivation to code? Yeah, please, even I want to know.
Motivation to code. Like most of it was to develop software which could help solve a problem. Like that is like in a bigger picture I try to see, right? Even if you get a plugin for a very small thing, let's say, but that is helping I know a lot of people or a community or something like that. So usually that is my aim, and I try to do everything open source so that people can edit and change and add, use it their own way. So I
See,
try.
what happens is like as Chirag told, na, like code together. So see, we were in the roommates. We are friends from third class. That back. Okay. So Chirag, in the room, if you have a guy who has been like doing keyboard tick, 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 every point of time, you also get motivation to okay, let's go sit, learn something. Because if he is doing something, I can't play. So that was my motivation because he was been coding whole time. So I was like, okay, let's try something.
And yeah, like I don't know, like automating things also is like my motivation. Like there was in our college
yeah.
dude, at the end of the semester they tell us to download 100 reports of all the questions that you have done, and for that you have to go to every question, select that question, click on download button 2 times, then click next, click on download button 2 times, something like that. So that takes like 20-30 minutes to do it, right? So I was like, I won't do it, I need to automate it, and I spent I think 5 or 6 hours just automating that. So I think that's like kind of I get motivation from these small things, like automating things, making things simple, or solving problems.
Right.
Wish I had
So
only like that.
No, it's not everyone's.
you can find. You can
It's
find.
only mine. I can't get Chirag,
Great.
it's
So
mine.
my motivation was Cisco from the Flash series. Aditya is saying that his motivation was Cisco from the Flash.
Or you can
Is
get
it-
from Richards also from Silicon Valley. Because-
What Silicon Valley? That will motivate you
yeah,
definitely.
we got motivated from that too. Silicon Valley.
Great. So I've dropped in a feedback form. So we do keep on doing these sessions. Any other topic that you want to know, any other interest that you have, you want us to do a free session on, please drop in. I think we are done with the session. We'll still maybe hang out for another 5-7 minutes, but we can wrap up. Thank you so much, Chirag and Arpit, for always being so sporty and always being here for mentorship for our students. Arpit, I think you asked if My Ways will have you again. I am sure I'm going to bug you in another 6 months again to come back and help the students with projects or maybe mentorship and other things. So thank you both
Guys,
for joining
let's
in.
have it offline. If you all want to, let's have it offline because I'm tired of this thing.
Of online webinars.
Yeah,
Great,
yeah.
Divyanshu. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, like guys, my last question.
No
I just
problem.
want-
Ask 2 or 3. No problem.
I just want to know about the final year projects you will suggest to the first year students so that we can start working on them right now or later or anyway.
Chirag,
Okay, so what happens is I don't know about other colleges. For us, what happened was so they asked for a final year project this time, and I had a project which I completed in my first year, or I think it's like second year. I just gave it as it is. Like I just told them I'm working on it that time only, but I completed it in my second year, and it's like it's a pretty simple machine learning based or deep learning based problem which solves a few of the things. Like final year project, I think
I just
don't
added my
worry
name.
about
I
it.
don't even do code.
Yeah, don't
I just
worry
added my
about
name.
it. Like do
I just
anything
added my
that
name in
is-
Chirag's project. That's it.
Yeah, like just take something that is easy to work on. I would suggest that.
See, college doesn't matter. Marks, I think, might sometime matters.
It depends.
And
If you want to
classes
go
never
for higher
matters.
studies, it will
I think
matter.
marks matter to just cross a certain
No.
threshold.
For like, if you want to go for the GRE and stuff, they always
Acha.
9.5.
Then-
Okay.
But just keep it above, like
A decent score.
yeah, like usually like in companies when they come, it's a relative score that they take. Like if everyone is above 9, they'll give you a 9.5 of cutoff. But if everything is above like 6 or 7, then the cutoff will also be 8.
It's relative, always
So
relative.
just see like around people around you how much they are scoring. Try to just score more than that. I think
Which college are you in, Divyanshu? You're from Mathura,
I'm
you said,
from
right?
GLA University, Mathura.
Okay.
So just
Mathura.
relative
Yeah, bring some sweets next time.
how
Yeah.
they get found.
Sorry, I was not able to hear.
Bring some sweets next time. Yeah.
Definitely.
So yeah, but classes doesn't matter. So don't worry about how classes will work and how.
Okay, like my teachers told me, as I am very interested in interviews, and I also got connected with My Ways with an internship interview.
Okay.
Like, my teacher told me that you have to score for at least 8.5 or 9 or above just to clear the cutoff of every particular company like Amazon or Microsoft if they are coming to our college.
They won't come for like, okay, give us 9 CGPA.
They won't like relatively they'll take. They won't take as
Plus,
Like
I
if your
think
college
all these
is
companies
hiring,
are now open off campus also. So even if you're not going to your campus, off campus, I think these things matter less, even less,
Yeah, like
if
I
you're
got
able
my
to.
job off campus only. Like Arpit was on campus, mine was
Okay.
off campus.
yeah, before on campus I was off campus, but
Hmm.
later I
Yeah, one
converted.
thing I also heard about, like GitHub also offers jobs. One of our senior got
See,
offered.
if GitHub has been managed, someone is managing it, so definitely there is job option.
Yeah, GitHub,
Okay.
Right.
like GitHub profile in your resume definitely will help in any
But he's
company.
asking the GitHub provide job,
Ha,
so
nee,
yeah,
I understood
definitely
that,
it will.
but your GitHub profile as such will help you somewhere at
Don't
least.
worry, my way CEO will see your profile and he will replace you with Tanvi. Don't worry.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Right. So it would be nice to have a session for key skills in CP, like how to tackle time complexity and stuff. Okay, other time we'll look for it. We'll arrange it maybe within this year. We'll try.
And is off-campus placement? Yeah. See, off-campus placements always pay more than on-campus. It's written rule
Okay, that
on
is that is a
off-campus.
new fact that I'm hearing.
So off-campus will always pay you more than the same company pays to on-campus placement. But for that, if you have been like for Chirag, he went for the Goldman Sachs, and it was the interview started from 9 in the morning, and it went till 9 in the night. So if you have that much of competition with thousands of people, definitely you will. It's too difficult to crack. But once you crack it, yeah, you have a job in your hand.
Uh,
But
yeah,
I
like
think
it's
one should always try it. It doesn't matter if
definitely.
you.
Yeah, I think in my third or fourth year, I would suggest like people to just keep on applying everywhere. It does not matter, just keep on applying.
It doesn't matter like whether they are asking you three. Like obviously, don't apply for the full-time roles or anything. If it's
Don't
internship,
apply
apply
for
it.
that you don't fit into, but I think there is lot of job openings during like I think what October, September, those kind of time, and April also. Like I think there are two different times when they open. So I apply for every company. Just search like let's say VMware, search VMware, apply for position. Search Amazon, search
But
for
I think startups are hiring all year round. So anytime you will find
startups.
places.
If you want to get into startups,
See,
then
what's the benefit in using startups? Like they don't ask that much of CP. They ask for your skills. If you have the skills, they will hire you immediately. But for MNCs like Goldman, VMware, Google, they first want your CP, like one your DSA to be clear. If it's clear, then they will hire you. The skills.
internship and full-time roles, they'll give us same kind of like
Internship
it
is
is the same
easier to
kind of
get.
difficulties. It does not matter.
See, is internship easier to get? Chirag went for Goldman 2 months internship. It was the same whole procedure, competing with thousands of people.
Mm.
For me, I went through Smart India Hackathon, so competing with the whole India. So it's the same thing.
Yeah,
It's
it's like
no,
internship or full-time, the competition will be the same. So it does not really matter.
Right, but for beginners, I think Vishal is asking questions about just as a beginner internships. Don't go for brands. I personally believe first internship, don't go for brands or any specific. Go for the skill that you would want to build on, you want to experience, and maybe the exposure that you have in your first internship will help you analyze your path what you want in the coming years.
see, in my first year, no, I went for internship in Bajaj Finserv Health. I didn't even okay. The Bajaj Finserv Health was not even established that time. They were like a daughter company of Bajaj Finserv that was working. I went in the first year, so I didn't had that much skills. I had a very basic skills. So what I did, I went in the office. I sit near the AIML guy. Then I sit near the front end person. I spend my whole day learning React with the guy who was doing the production grade application. So I just kept on disturbing him. Sometime my CTO told me, "Can you do the HTML CSS for them?" So I explored every other like this thing in my first internship. It was not like okay, you can't go anywhere and you should be too super good. Some internships you can go, you can learn more. Because of that, my first internship, I really got to know okay how backend works, how front end works, how deployment works, and everything.
Okay, I think
Best time
just
for
two
doing internship.
questions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
just two questions, then we'll wrap up. We're already 20 minutes over time. But so if Rohan is asking if you could recommend some startup companies, Rohan, we are hiring. Please apply.
okay, VMware is my way is hiring. You can apply.
Right, but I think when
Angel
you're
list,
going for
angel
yeah,
list.
go to AngelList, look for startups. Go for companies where, so if you're applying for startups, right, most startups are product based. At the end of the day, somebody asked difference between product based and service based. Look for the product that they're developing, maybe the problem that they're solving. That will help you, because as developers in smaller teams, you have to be connected to the problem that the startup is solving. I think, I personally think so. But have you attached the certificates of your Coursera in your LinkedIn profile? Do I purchase those certificates? See,
They- they
these
don't-
guys have
No, bro.
these guys have the credentials of a SIH winners on their LinkedIn. They don't need anything else on their LinkedIn. But
No,
yes,
like,
I
my
think
final day, like
hmm.
previously, I think first, second year I have attached, and he saw the profile, I believe.
Yeah, even I attached, bro.
Yeah, I didn't
Mhm.
buy all of them. Like like you don't buy certificate like paid for the course, like some of them, but yeah, you can apply for what is that?
Financial aid. I did
Financial aid.
many with financial aid, and then the later our SRM
So if you
helped us.
apply for financial aid from India, they 100% give you a scholarship for 100%.
But you have to just wait for
I've
30 minutes
I've done that. I've
Yeah,
done
like just tell
that.
them
and write anything.
you're
My house
farmer or
went into
something like that.
flood. My did that. Went into fire and everything. You can write any bullshit. They won't
I
even.
should have stopped recording when you were answering this question. But I try and edit it out.
Cut it.
Before uploading. Great. Okay.
Yeah, please just beep everything what I said.
Fair enough. Okay. I think we'll wrap up the session. Thank you everyone for staying till the end. Thank you, Chirag and Arpit. And I hope to stay in touch. Everyone will be sending in the resource kits, the links and everything on your email IDs within 2 to 3 business days. The team takes time to summarize everything. And then you
Best
can
time
do
to
it.
internship. Whenever you're getting internship, do it. There is no best time to do
Yeah.
it.
I think with work from home, it is very open now, right? The duration and everything. Okay, thank you,
Yeah, the
Kunal.
only thing
Thank
you
you,
should use
everyone.
bhaiyas because you have only read bhaiya. So which bhaiya you are tagging? Chirag or me?
Great.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening and a good weekend.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
guys.
Thank you, guys.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.